Good evening, everybody. If anyone in this room has ever played a sport, you've been a part of a team, or you had kids on teams or anything, at the very least, you've heard of a participation award. Participation awards in sports have been a topic of debate for many years, and it really boils down to the fundamental question of, are participation awards harmful or are they helpful to the youth? If you ask James Harrison, who's the linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, participation awards have no place in this world, and they certainly don't have a place in his house. This debate was kind of sparked again recently when James Harrison posted a picture on his Instagram page of two participation awards that his two sons received. Beneath the picture, he wrote a little something about why he was returning them, and this is what he said. He said, "I'm not sorry for believing that everything in life should be earned. I'm not about to raise two boys to be men by making them believe that they're entitled to something just because they tried their best. Sometimes your best is not enough, and that should drive you to do better." That sparked a lot of debate and confrontation between people. Surprisingly, a lot of people actually sided with James Harrison. And what he did was he kind of uncovered an uncomfortable truth in society that a lot of parents they don't like to, for some reason, they don't like to acknowledge or speak about this with their young kids, and that's you won't always be successful. It's just not possible. The most successful people in the world have failed time and time and time again, and that's what's made them who they are. Failure builds character, and the only thing participation awards do is they tell kids that it's okay to just show up and that you're going to get rewarded for it, which is absolutely ridiculous. Don Yeager, who is he's an author for Forbes magazine, he raised a very interesting question. He asks, what motivation is there to give it your all or to work hard to improve if you're going to get the same exact trophy as the last place team or the kid on the sideline chasing butterflies? And the answer to that question is simple: there is no motivation. It's very important for kids to understand that losing is okay. It's part of life. You learn from it. You can't pretend that failure and hardships don't exist. It's just the way of life. So the root cause of participation awards is all because of parents. Let's blame the parents for that. Thankfully, I don't have to blame mine for it. But it all stems from parents' belief that they need to give their kids something, a meaningless trophy. They want them to feel good about themselves. A man by the name of Whit Hanya, who is the author of the Parents' Phrase book, says that the idea behind participatory trophies is not to make everyone a winner, but to acknowledge that the child put time and effort into something. And really what it boils down to is parents are just afraid to see their kids upset or disappointed in something. Some of them even go as far as not allowing their kids to be part of certain leagues or be on teams that don't award trophies to everybody at the end of the year, and that's just absolutely ludicrous. And what it's actually turned into a big business. So the people that are in charge of these leagues and these teams and stuff like that, they need these people to keep coming back in order to further their business. That's how they put food on the table. That's how they feed their families. So in order for these people to continue to come back, they have to produce these trophies. They have to give out these trophies, or no one's going to show up. If you ask a fellow by the name of Jim Vance, who is he's a sports anchor in the Washington D.C. area, he goes a little bit too far. He says that participation awards are actually a form of child abuse. I think that's taken it a little too far. Nevertheless, though, I do think it's important to ask this question: and what message are parents sending to their kids with participation awards? This brings me to the solution to the problem, and it's very simple: get rid of them. They suck. They're stupid. We need to put the worth back into winning. Kids need to understand that there's a difference between first place, between second place, between third place. You don't get the same trophy as everybody. We live in a performance-based world, and that's how it is. Mm-hmm. Carol Dweck, who is she's a professor she's a psychology professor at Stanford University. She has a very interesting take on what parents should do. She says, rather than praise a child's intelligence or talents, what we should do is praise their effort, their strategies, their focus, their perseverance, and their improvement. Mm-hmm. This process creates kids that are hardy and resilient. Praise your kids for their hard work. Did they give it their all and still fail? That's awesome. Encourage them to encourage them to remember that feeling of disappointment, to remember, how bad they felt about themselves, and that should be what motivates them to drive them forward. Not these stupid participation awards that say, "Hey, thanks for showing up. Here's a trophy." So, really, in the end, I'm gonna bring it all back to James Harrison, who not normally somebody I would probably go to for fatherly advice or worldly advice or anything like that. He's kind of a crazy man. But in this instance, he certainly hit the nail on the head. Participation awards are ridiculous. They don't teach kids anything. It's much more harmful than anything else. Sometimes your best isn't good enough. You do need to find another gear, another something inside you to push you forward, and that's it. Get rid of participation trophies.
Very good.